Hey real estate agents, in this video we're going to be talking about AI agents, what they are, how you can use them, and what kind of jobs can they actually do in your business. Real quick, if you've never seen me before, my name is Brandon. I'm a real estate agent and I'm also the owner of an AI development agency called Agent Automation, where we help real estate agents integrate AI into their business by building out custom AI systems for them. I also want to give a quick shout out to Ben AI. He runs an amazing YouTube channel talking all about AI and AI agents. His latest video is actually the one that inspired this video, where he breaks down in detail AI agents, but I wanted to take everything that he was talking about and just specify it down so that it related to real estate agents specifically. If you are a real estate agent and you're interested in integrating something like this into your business or getting some sort of AI system built for you, my calendar link is below. You can hit me up there, book a call with me on my calendar, and then we can talk about all the different possibilities of what can be automated in your business and how we could build a custom AI agent specifically for you. Now, I want to talk about AI agents quick, and then afterwards we're actually going to dive in and I'm going to show you a full diagram breakdown that I made showing you how a full AI agent system would work in your real estate business. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about AI agents. First off, what is an AI agent? You've probably heard this term flying around your social media and your news feed because it's kind of a buzzword right now. Everyone's talking about AI agents going to take over the world. And while I do agree that AI agents are going to be taking over a lot of different parts of our day-to-day lives, I will say that right now the term AI agent is thrown around a little bit loosely. You'll see some companies who talk about chatbots as if they're AI agents, or ChatGPT as if it's an AI agent. And while it sort of kind of is in its own way, what we're talking about today are AI agents that are essentially AI systems that can perform a multitude of tasks for you to accomplish different objectives within your business. The reason why I'm hesitant to call a chatbot, for example, an AI agent is because a chatbot is more of the vehicle in order for the agent to communicate with the customer or with yourself, not the actual agent itself. The AI agent is what is in the back end, like the actual brain of the system that can delegate these different tasks and accomplish specific objectives. So if you think about like a chatbot that's on, your favorite clothing brand's website, when you try and talk to it, it can maybe answer some basic questions about the brand, how long it's been in business, where it's located, stuff like that. But if you said to the chatbot, order me these 3 shirts and send it to my house, it probably wouldn't be able to do that. And that's because the chatbot is not an AI agent. It's not set up to actually perform specific functions for you. But on the flip side, there are chatbots that can do that. For example, the ones that we build for real estate agents' websites, they can send you property recommendations, they can send you emails and text messages, so they can actually take action and do things rather than just answering questions or generating a response. So that's the main key feature of an AI agent, is that it can actually take action. You can think of it like a personal assistant versus a receptionist. A receptionist is just there to answer the phone and transfer that call to the next person. A personal assistant can answer phones, but they can also get up and go and get you a coffee, or they can, print a marketing package for a client, or they can go to the client's house and deliver something. They can actually perform actions to get the job done. Now, why is the whole world going crazy about AI agents, and why should you as a real estate agent care about them? Well, to put it simply, it's because AI agents now are just inevitable. Now that we've invented the technology to do this kind of stuff, it's inevitable that it's going to seep into every part of every industry's business to automate things, streamline things, make things faster, cheaper, more accessible to everybody. But I want to talk about how it could affect the real estate industry and how it's going to affect you as a real estate agent. Now, within the typical real estate agent's business, there's usually a few different roles that have to be played. Sometimes these are all played by one solo agent. Sometimes they're played by a team of a bunch of people. Sometimes they're played by a huge brokerage that has, a big conveyancing team and a big marketing team. So depending on the size of the business, there might be multiple people or just one person involved, but all these different roles still have to be played, right? There's communication that has to happen, talking amongst the client and the agent, or maybe amongst the the rest of your team or your brokerage, or different vendors, like if you're ordering gift baskets or you have to schedule inspections and things like that. There's also marketing that happens, right? You got to market yourself to get leads. You got to market yourself for your new listing that you just had. There's administrative work on the back end of handling all your different contracts, accessing your CRM and updating client statuses and transaction statuses and things like that. You have your calendar that you have to worry about because as a real estate agent, you're always on the go. So you have to make sure your calendar is always updated and always filled correctly, so you're not booking showings where you shouldn't be and double booking yourself on listing appointments and things like that. And then of course you have little day-to-day tasks that are, nurturing your clients and keeping them up to date with the market or with what's going on with their listing. So there's all these different elements that happen inside of any real estate agent's business. And now, thanks to the help of AI, a lot of those tasks can be handled by an AI agent. So now you don't need to hire an assistant for $40,000, $50,000 a year to update your CRM and answer your emails for you and communicate with your clients. You can have an AI agent perform all those tasks for you and automate the entire thing. And all you really have to do is just text or send a voice note to that AI agent asking it to do different things. And because of this breakthrough technology, the job of a real estate agent is changing. There's going to be a much bigger focus on servicing and supporting your client and much less of an emphasis on all the back end administrative stuff that happens because so much of that now is going to be automated. It's almost just going to be like a standard that every real estate agent has 1 or 2 or 5 of these AI agents performing all these things for them. In fact, I can almost guarantee you that in the next 6 months, you're going to see these big brokerages developing their own AI agents that they're going to use in their businesses, that they're then going to take and offer to other agents in order to join their brokerage. And then it's going to be a game of which real estate brokerage has the best AI agent, because that's the brokerage that's going to be able to support their realtors the most and also give the best service to their clients, because their clients are going to be able to get the best, fastest, and most reliable service and communication from their realtor. At the same time, it's a huge opportunity for solo agents and smaller teams, because now they'll be able to integrate that kind of infrastructure into their business that normally only the huge brokerages were able to afford, but they can do it now at a fraction of a cost. Now, at the end of the day, your job as a real estate agent is to do one thing, and that's to service your client to the best of your ability. That might mean different things for different clients, depending if it's a buyer or a seller or a luxury property or a small condo, but regardless, your number one priority is servicing your client, and an AI agent allows you to be able to focus on what's the most important for your client rather than doing all of these back-end to-do list items that maybe your client doesn't really care about you doing, but you know you need to in order to keep your business running. So how do you know what kind of things an AI agent can do? Like, what kind of specific tasks in your business can an AI agent take on? Well, there's 3 things that I would keep in mind when you're wondering, can this be automated by AI? So number 1, is this something that is repeatable and teachable? Meaning, if you were to hire, let's say, an assistant and bring them into your business, is it something that you can teach them how to do and they can repeat the process? For example, updating your CRM or sending a weekly email update? Or is it not something that's repeatable? Like, let's say, showing a property where every property is different, every showing is different, and you have to physically be there for it. The second thing to think about is this something that should be delegated to somebody else, or is it absolutely crucial that I do this myself? For example, probably the most common question I get from real estate agents about AI is whether or not it can value a property correctly. My answer to these real estate agents is always the same, which is yes, it probably could, but you shouldn't need it to. The reason I say that is because being able to value a property is a very crucial skill for a real estate agent. Your client is hiring you because of your market expertise and your past sales experience. So if you're not the one valuing the price of their property or the property they're looking to buy, I don't know, in my opinion, it just seems like you're taking away a very crucial part of why they're hiring you, and you're trying to give that to an AI who doesn't have the experience that you have in that particular market. For example, you could run the numbers all day long on a property and say it's this much square feet and it has these types of finishes and it's in this neighborhood and it's this style of home, therefore it should be this price. But as a real estate agent with experience in that neighborhood, you know that 2 weeks ago you put an offer on a property down the road and there was 5 other offers and it sold for $20,000 over asking price. You also know that John, the other realtor, has a client who is super hungry for a property in that neighborhood, and they're willing to pay a lot of money over asking price in order to get it. There's these certain non-tangible things that go into pricing a property properly that AI just can't quite replicate, or at least not yet. So it's not necessarily about thinking, can AI do this job for me? But more so, should the AI do this job for me? And if it did, will that allow me to focus on the more important parts of my business and servicing my client better? And then the third thing I would keep in mind when you're thinking about what kind of things an AI agent can do in your business is what specific tools are involved in order to complete that task. For example, if you wanted AI to send market updates to all of your leads every week, well, there's a few different things that you would have to integrate into that, right? You would have to integrate your email platform so it can actually send the email. You'd have to integrate some sort of AI brain like ChatGPT or Claude that would actually write the email for you. You would also have to integrate some way for that AI to collect actual market data so that it can send accurate market updates. And also, side note, if you're using ChatGPT to give you market stats, you are getting inaccurate market stats. The reason for that is ChatGPT is only trained on data up to a certain point, and they do renew it every time they release a new model or they do an update, but it's not real-time information. So if you're just writing to ChatGPT, what are the price changes in this city for a single family home, the number that it gives you is probably not going to be accurate to the actual market data number. But what you can do instead is you can integrate into the MLS API so that you're always pulling real-time data. Now, real quick, before we hop into the diagram where I show you what a super intuitive AI agent would look like in your business, I want to just chat real quick about what is possible with an AI agent. There's almost an infinite amount of things that you could get an AI agent to do, but specifically in your real estate business, there are probably a list of 5 or 10 things right off the bat that you could think of that you either don't like to do, are really repetitive, or are kind of a waste of your time. For example, updating your CRM. Sometimes this takes half an hour to an hour every single day to constantly be updating with, new follow-ups that you did and new statuses and things like that. Still necessary for your business, but it's kind of a waste of your time because it doesn't actually drive business. So that's the perfect place for an AI agent to take over that task for you so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. Emails is another big one. I mean, how much time do you spend every single day responding to emails? This is one of the biggest places where people integrate AI into their business because it saves them a ton of time from having to respond to everybody all the time. The AI just looks through emails, it decides what needs to be answered and what doesn't, if it's a spam post or whatever, and then it responds to those emails accurately. And it gets super powerful when you integrate it with like your MLS so that it can respond to emails with up-to-date market data. Social media is another big one, so it can post to your social media for you. It can generate the images, generate the captions, the hashtags, all that stuff, write blog articles on LinkedIn, whatever it is that you're trying to do. It can automate the whole social media posting for you. You can even just upload an image to the AI agent. Maybe you just took a picture of your new listing, you just upload that picture to the AI agent and say, hey, post this to my Instagram, and then it's going to post it, it's going to write the caption, it's done. Updating your calendar, sending text messages, keeping your clients updated, writing listing descriptions, writing marketing packages. All of these things are things that can be automated with AI and can be integrated into an AI agent's job role so that this AI agent just literally becomes your own personal assistant in your business to handle all the stuff for you that you don't want to do. Now, obviously, the biggest benefit to this is the amount of time that you're going to save, but also think about how much more business you could do if you freed up all of that time and could dedicate it to getting more leads, servicing your clients better, and doing the things that really drive your business forward. But anyways, that's a quick overview of an AI agent, what it is, and how it can be used in your real estate business. Now we're gonna hop into my computer and I'm gonna show you the overview of what an AI agent system would look like if you integrated it into your real estate business. So this is a diagram that I put together showing you what exactly an AI agent would look like inside of your real estate business, what it would do, and the kind of tasks that it could handle and sort of take off your plate. First off, I'm going to shout out to another YouTube channel, Ben AI. He did a really good detailed video showing how to build these kind of giant master agents that have a bunch of sub agents underneath them. You can think of it almost just like a workforce that has a bunch of agents doing different jobs in your business. So check out his video if you're interested in kind of seeing the entire breakdown of it. I basically wanted to take that concept that he was talking about and apply it to real estate agents and the real estate world so that you can see what that would look like in your business and what somebody like myself and my company Agent Automation is doing for real estate agents. So the overall concept here is that you're going to have basically one executive director or like one master agent who's going to take care of all of the other agents underneath him and sort of be the go-between that you communicate to in order to get everything else done. Now, underneath this one agent is a bunch of other sub agents or like smaller managers underneath him. And then underneath that agent or that manager is even more agents underneath that. Now, you might be wondering, why are we doing that? Why don't we just do one agent that handles everything? And the reason is because the more individual tasks that you give an AI agent or an AI model, the more confused it can get and the more mistakes it can make. And we're trying to obviously reduce the amount of mistakes that our agent is going to make and hopefully minimize them to none. And the way to do that is to essentially break it up into like their own specialties. So you can think about it like in a company when you have your CEO or your executive person at the top, and then underneath them is all these different kinds of managers who manage different things, right? So you have your CFO managing finances, your COO managing operations, your CMO managing marketing. It's the same sort of deal, and the person at the top, or in this case the agent at the top, is the one who is delegating all the different tasks that's coming in and saying, okay, you're in charge of this, and you're in charge of that, and you're in charge of that. And then those managers then take the task and they decide which one of their agents underneath them they can delegate the task to. So as it goes down the line further and further, it gets more and more specific as to who's handling the job. And that person at the very bottom is very, very specific and well trained on that specific kind of job. So let's start at the top here and I'll show you exactly what it is that we're talking about. So we have our guy here, he's the executive director. This is the main agent that you would be speaking to on the day-to-day in your business. Now this executive director can be integrated in a number of different ways. You can communicate with it via WhatsApp, via your chatbot, via a custom mobile app that you would create or on a website. Let's just say for the sake of this example, this executive director is integrated into WhatsApp. So all of your communication happens inside of this one WhatsApp conversation. Now behind this agent, there's a bunch of other stuff going on. So this is where you can have either different automations running in the background or leads coming in from different places. Let's say you have an AI chatbot that is qualifying leads on your website or maybe in your Facebook Messenger. And as these new leads are coming in, it's telling the executive director about all these new leads coming in. Maybe you have scheduled events or scheduled automations that happen in the background. For example, maybe a property search list that happens every morning, or like a newsletter that you get every day or something like that. And then I just put other to cover, other things that you might be thinking of in your head. And then of course, there's our communication as well that we're feeding into the executive director. So this is actually us texting the agent or sending, a voice note or something to the agent, giving it instructions. So all of these different things happening in the background of this executive director's day-to-day job, and their job is to take all of these things that are being sent to it and delegate what manager or what agent should be taking care of it and sort of how it should get done and then how it should be communicated back to you. Now this executive director is built basically on different OpenAI models or ChatGPT models. Now the newest and probably best one to use would be the O1 model, and it's going to use that model to determine an SOP. SOP is a standard operating procedure. Basically it just means with the information that is coming in, it decides, okay, how does this thing need to be handled, and then from there gives those directions to the specific agent. So its role, like we just talked about, is to delegate tasks to manager agents, and this is the specific agent that we communicate with. So even though there's all these other sub agents underneath it, we as the actual real estate agent are not speaking to any of these agents. We're not instructing them to do anything. We're only talking to this one agent, and that agent is handling everything else for us. Also keep in mind that everything that we're talking about in this video are examples of how you could use this agent. Obviously, anything can be customized to your specific systems, procedures, your brokerage, that kind of stuff. But this is just a basic overview of how a real estate agent could use a system like this in their business. So throughout the day, tons of different information comes in, our text messages and voice notes, different scheduled automations that happen, leads from your website, that kind of stuff. It all gets sent to this executive director, and that executive director then uses its brain to decide, okay, who am I going to give this information to? How am I going to delegate this task? Right? So underneath him, he has a communication agent, so an agent that handles all the communication for our business. There's a marketing agent. There is a real estate market and MLS agent. So this agent is, integrated into the local MLS to look at property listings, Zillow, market stats, stuff like that. You have your CRM agent, so it's connected directly to your CRM, your calendar agent, and then your conveyancing agent. From there, once the executive director decides what agent it's going to hand it off to, then that agent then has either tasks underneath it that it can perform or has more agents that it can then delegate to, depending on how complicated that agent's job is. So again, if you think of it like a company, if you have the one manager up here, that manager is going to delegate to his managers below him, and maybe one of those managers' jobs is pretty simple, doesn't have a lot going on, his day-to-day is pretty easygoing, he doesn't need anyone underneath him. But the other two, they have super complicated jobs, they have a lot going on, so they need two assistants underneath them that they can then delegate tasks to. So same goes for this, just depending on what the job is, it might be a little bit more complicated than others. For example, a communication agent, there's more going on than a CRM agent, which we'll go over in just a sec here. So if the executive agent decides that we're going to hand off this task to the communication agent, then from there, the communication agent uses its brain to decide where are we going to hand this off to. Are we going to hand it off to the texting agent, the email agent, or the voice agent? These are pretty straightforward. One of them sends texts all day long, the other one sends emails all day long, and the other one uses AI voice to actually call the person or the other realtor or the vendor, whatever it is, and actually speak to them like a human with AI voice. So this one handles all of your communication throughout the day. Then we go to the marketing agent. This one handles, just like it says, all of your marketing. So it's going to post to your social media for you. Maybe it creates listing packages if you have new listings. So it's going to collect some details about the property, write the listing description, put together some client marketing packages. Again, whatever your specific system is that you use when you get a new listing, that's what it's going to follow. So each of these individual agents, you train on your procedures and what you normally do when you get a new listing or you get a new buyer or you get a new offer, whatever it is, and then it's just going to replicate that system. Maybe the marketing agent also has a mailer agent underneath them that handles all of your mailers and flyers that go out, collects details about the property that you're promoting, or maybe collects some neighborhood stats if that's what you're sending out in your mailer, creates the mailer design, sends it off to you or to somebody in your group for approval, and then if it's approved, then it sends an email to order the mailers. You could have a real estate market and MLS agent. That agent would then be able to delegate tasks to sub-agents underneath it, like an MLS agent, which would be integrated directly into your MLS. So it can search for specific properties, it can summarize listings, it can look at sold comps, things like that. You could have a market stats agent that's going to look at the actual sales trends of stats in your city or in specific neighborhoods, the demographics of those areas, local market news that's happening, like new developments and things like that. You could use that market stats agent to create market updates or just to ask a question to if you have a question about specific neighborhoods or whatever it is. Then you have a CRM agent. This one doesn't have as many jobs to perform, so he doesn't have any sub-agents underneath him. He just has tasks, which are to add leads or add transactions, remove leads and transactions, and update leads and transactions in your CRM. Same with the calendar agent. You can add and remove events, update events, and read all of your events. So if you send a message to the executive agent and say, hey, what's going on for this week? Or what's my schedule like on Thursday? It's just going to tell you a summary right away because it can read your entire calendar and read all the events. And then lastly, you have your conveyancing agent, which underneath it has a document manager agent a team follow-up agent, and a document analyzer agent. So just like the titles say, the document analyzer agent analyzes documents to make sure there's no missing signatures or dates or things like that. You can also extract some of that information from the document to then communicate with the other ones about contract dates and condition dates and stuff like that. It can analyze the document to figure out what type of document it is and then proceed with your brokerage or your team's specific processes from there. So maybe, every time you have an accepted offer, you send out a congratulations email and you order a client gift basket and a few other things. Then this document analyzer agent can go perform those tasks once it sees that it got in an accepted offer. Team follow-up agent is there to follow up with your different team members, make sure that everyone is getting all of their checklist items when they have a transaction going. And your document manager agent is just making sure that the documents are going into the right place. So whether you're sending it to other agents or sending it to the client, whatever it may be, it's making sure that that document is going to the specific place that it's supposed to. And keep in mind that even though there are all these different individual agents, they can still communicate with each other, right? So for example, the marketing agent might want to put together a mailer talking about market stats. Well, that mailer agent is going to have to then speak to the market stats agent and get the market stats of that specific neighborhood, get the demographics, the sales trends, and then go and create its mailer based off of what the market stats agent communicated with it. So they can all communicate with each other. Then once that task is complete, then they're all communicating back to the executive director so that the executive director can communicate back to us. So in the same way that when you have a client and they're only speaking to you about everything, right? They're not speaking to the listing agent, they're not speaking to the seller of the home, they're not speaking to the other client's mortgage company or whatever. Everything is going through you. That's the same way with the executive director. Everything is being put through him and he or she is communicating with you about what's going on. So this executive agent is the one that's going to be telling you when a task is complete. It's going to be asking you extra questions if it needs more information, and it's the one that you're going to be speaking to ask to get these things done. Another easy way that you can think about this is the executive director is just like if you were to hire a personal assistant, and that personal assistant is in communication with all the other people in your company that do these different tasks, right? So it's not necessarily your assistant who's going and conveyancing the documents and communicating with the sellers back and forth or the lawyers, whatever it is. They're just communicating with the people who are then going to perform that task. And then once that information gets back to them about whether the job was done or questions or whatever, it's your assistant who's texting you or calling you saying, hey, I need you to answer these questions, or hey, that thing you asked me to do is complete. And like I said, there's a number of different ways that you can go about implementing this into your business. You can do it through WhatsApp. You can do it through ChatGPT. You can do it completely custom if you wanted like a branded app or web portal kind of thing that you would go into on your laptop and deal with it that way. Personally, I think the easiest is WhatsApp or ChatGPT. I did make a video on how to create a ChatGPT assistant for yourself. I'll put the link in the description below, but definitely check out that video. It walks you through how to do, I believe, 4 or 5 different actions inside of your ChatGPT so that you can just say to it, hey, send an email to this client and update them on the market, or take this picture and post it to my Instagram, and ChatGPT will do it for you. Super, super powerful, saves you a ton of time. Relevance AI is another tool that you can use to build out these big agents like this, especially when you have agents that have sub-agents under them and maybe even another layer of agents underneath those sub-agents. Relevance AI lets you sort of plan out all those things and really sort of specify how the delegation would go into these different agents. And if you're wondering, yes, most of your tools that you're already using in your business can be integrated into these types of systems. So whether you're using Google Calendar or Microsoft Calendar, whether you're using Gmail or Outlook, if you're using Instagram or LinkedIn or X or whatever it is, almost any tool that you're using can be integrated into these systems. There's only a couple real estate CRMs I know of that don't really allow any integration at all, but they're not very common anyways. So if you're using, some of the bigger platforms like Lofty or Pipedrive or Follow Up Boss, There's tons and tons of integrations that you can do. As for the back-end automations, I would highly recommend using make.com. And I'm going to be posting more specific videos showing how to build out these individual agents as well. So make sure you're subscribing to check out those videos. But I'm going to be breaking down each one into their own individual video so you can see how to build an agent for your marketing channels, how to build an agent for your communication channels. And then after all those, I'm going to be putting out a video that shows you how to connect all of those agents together and build out this executive agent that can speak to all of them and then communicate that information back to you. If you don't want to learn how to do all this stuff and how to, prompt AI and do automations in the back end and all that technical stuff, then hit me up, because my company, Agent Automation, this is what we do. We help real estate agents integrate AI into their business by either consulting and helping them, pick the right tools and do the right things, or by actually building out these systems and putting it into your business. My calendar link is in the description below. If you want to book a free call with me, we can talk about what's possible in your business, what can be integrated, what can be automated. And like I said, keep an eye on my channel. Make sure you're subscribing so that you see all the videos that are coming out of how to build out these individual agents for your real estate business. Hopefully this overview gave you a good idea of how an agent like this would perform in your business and what kind of tasks it could handle on the day-to-day for you, how it could free up hours and hours of your time every single week, and honestly maybe even save you from having to hire like a personal assistant for 50 or 60 grand a year. So yeah, these are super, super powerful. I know this was just kind of a general overview, but I wanted to show you what is possible when you build out these big agent systems that handle all of your back-end admin and marketing stuff that is necessary in your business, but it's not necessarily the stuff that brings in the dollars, which is you being with your client, showing homes, listing properties. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.